Hello everybody, I am Tom and you are watching me play Divinity Original Sin 2. In today's episode, first things first, I think we're going to save the MEISTR. Considering that's why we're here in the first place, it seems like probably a good idea. And then I want to go talk to Lohar. I think we've heard his name before? I believe we've heard his name before. Lohar essentially is the leader of the Elven Rebellion, the Dwarven Rebellion that we've heard about in this town. But the MEISTR is up here being hanged.
You poor dwarf. Do you even know what they've done to you?
Talking to the Silent Watcher, I suppose.
A Magister guard approaches. Behind her, on the gallows, two lizards. One in a Magister uniform hangs dead from her neck. The other hangs from her hands, still alive.
Step away from the prisoner, Red Scales!
Tell her you're going to set the prisoner free. She'd be wise to look the other way.
You're going to... what, now?
Offer her the opportunity to set the prisoner free herself.
She betrayed Alexander. I'd sooner die than free her.
Ask if she knows who killed Alexander, and point at yourself.
I'll regret this, I know I will. Alright, I'll stand aside.
First things first, how about we heal you slightly? You can hear us slightly as well, that'd be nice. There we go.
The lizard hangs from the gibbet, her face blooded and her scales discolored. Her eyes are closed, but her tongue flickers as you approach.
Welcome to Driftwood, God-woken.
One bloody eye cracks open, glittering gold appearing from beneath the swollen lid.
Chased you all the way here from Fort Joy, did they? Very well then, cut me down. There is work to be done. Or indeed you could stand there still as a boiled lobster. You seem to have mastered that look.
Reach up and undo her restraints.
Be quick about it. Who knows when that Magister might return?
Quickly slice through her restraints and help her get down.
God's teeth, it feels good to move again. Now, best scurry off before that Magister wanders back. Meet me at my home in Driftwood, and we can see what you're made of.
Indeed. She's now full health. And yet she's still limping. She's just putting it on for a show. Obviously you're not supposed to be able to heal her at that point. Well, I guess not supposed to is probably not the correct word. You're just not expected to. And it'd be cool if they put something in for that. If, like, you heal her and she has sort of unique dialogue, would be very cool, but I don't think there is, as far as I'm aware.
This place has seen better days.
The MEISTR sits slumped in a chair, looking around the room as she works her shoulder with one hand. It looks like it was dislocated by the gallows.
Damnable red cloak baboons ransacking my wardrobes, as if I would keep ancient valuable secrets in a pile with my unmentionables.
She takes a deep breath, and with a twist, a click, and a screech of pain, she shoves her shoulder back into its socket.
That'll do it.
I swear by the seven, if we did not have more important matters to attend to.
Reaching across the table, she pulls a bowl of hot water towards her and fishes some bandages, a needle, and thread out of a box. She slowly starts to tend to her wounds.
At least the barbarians were unable to club their way into my vault, so everything you need should be safe.
Ask exactly what it is that you need.
In your case, more than I suspect, man, God or even reptile can provide. However, we must soldier on.
Interesting.
It is not enough to be God-woken in order to ascend to divinity. There is a process.
Indeed.
As she speaks, the MEISTR uncorks a vial of shimmering liquid, sauce. She lets a couple of drops fall on her hand, but instead of infusing with her body, they quickly evaporate on her scales.
Interesting.
She stares at the empty spot on her palm for a long moment before turning back to you, continuing as if nothing had happened.
A process by which God-woken may ascend. It begins with discovering your deepest self, delving into your own soul.
Your deepest self? Good. I've been starved of proper company.
Quite.
Cautiously ask what happened next.
We shall begin once we have the tools we need from my vault. You may have been chosen God-woken, but becoming divine requires more than a supernatural pat on the head. Come, God-woken. It is time to see just how awake you are.
They are fairly good pants. That is pretty good helmet. Other than that, she doesn't have a whole lot.
Fortunately, the Magisters pay as much attention to art as they do to fashion. I'd kindly remove that painting from your talent for following simple instructions fills me with wonder and pride. Push the button. Now, kindly go to the vault and enter the combination. I shall call it out as you go.
A stone door lies flush with the floorboards. Etched whorls in the granite frame a delicate rotary dial. Gleaming under the dim light, the metallic dial almost seems to wink at you.
Enter the safe combination as the MEISTR calls it open.
Taking your time, you carefully enter the combination. The metallic sounds of the tumblers falling within the mechanism let you know you entered the code correctly.
Excellent. Follow me. Your time is at hand, God-woken.
Powerful awakening. So the MEISTR is... We have an infinite pool of source here now, which is quite nice. The MEISTR is quite powerful.
Free to look about while I catch my breath.
is an Arcanist's dream.
Come speak to me when you wish to proceed. And try not to break anything in the meantime.
I think this book is useful. Excuse my sneezing. Because I believe this book gives us recipes on source orbs, indeed. You can cast Epidemic of Fire scroll, which is somewhat incredible. I think that's fine for now. Some water and pestle, a pouch. And this here. MEISTR SIVA instructed me to record my research before I conduct any experiments regarding God-woken ascension. The ritual itself is quite simple. 1. Place a simple piece of blackroot in a ritual bowl. Draw blood with obsidian lancet, your own is most convenient, and sprinkle it upon the root. Set a flame to the bowl and its contents. Ensure you have sufficient source. Inhale the resulting smoke. Beyond this point, nothing is known. The ingredients for the ritual are not rare per se, but may be difficult to procure. I am fortunate that MEISTR SIVA's source fountain never runs low, so it's simple to gather the source. Blackroot, however, is another matter entirely. The root grows in the forest to the northwest of Driftwood. It produces no poison nor thorns to guard it, but all manner of creatures stalk these trees. It is wise to quickly grab what one needs and then return. I pray that my experiments have here paved the way for future scholars, or should I succeed, to allow any of the equals of God, allow any to be the equals of Godwoken. Apprentice Talech. It's like a source light bulb. Doesn't seem to do a whole lot other than that.
The MEISTR is examining her wounds, prodding at this, wincing at that. Her face seems grim as she turns to you.
Do you know what it means to have the power of the divine, God-woken?
So of course I do. I've been revered as a god my whole life.
You've been playing pretend all your life, but the reality is quite different. No, becoming the divine means taking on the power of all the gods and the responsibility for all the races. The divine was created by the gods to shelter us from the void. The divine cannot use his power for anything else.
Growl And Growly, you already told her what you will do when the power is yours.
The MEISTR's claws lash out, grabbing you by the scruff of the neck and pulling you close. You can smell her elegant musk mixing with the lingering scent of blood.
As much as I appreciate the fine pedigree of your stupidity, do listen carefully. The void threatens the world. It threatens everything. You cannot risk failure. The only thing you can use the powers of the Divine for is to protect Rivellon.
She releases you with a twist of her claws, her breath ragged and uneven, her cold eyes glittering in the candlelight.
Rub your neck and nod, but keep your own counsel.
Very well then. Let's see if we can't snatch divinity from the jaws of the void. The ritual itself is quite simple. Drop some blackroot in the bowl, mix in a little blood, set the concoction aflame, and then inhale the smoke. Ignore any feelings of dizziness, burning in your lungs, or a dire sense of existential dread. They're all perfectly normal, although you will need to sacrifice a little sauce along the way. Everything you need is here. The ingredients are in the cupboard, the sauce in the fountain. The ritual is described in the tome by the bookcase, and, well, I'm sure a fine reptile like yourself will have no trouble summoning some fire.
The MEISTR looks back at her wounds, curiously prodding them as fresh blood oozes out, staining her claws.
Scoff and tell her a mighty fire, then you hasn't been born. You'll demonstrate.
And please do not lose anything. I pray you'll be more careful with my materials than with your empire.
It's a fairly good callback, to be fair. So if we go in here...
Opening the door, you see a selection of ingredients, thrown together in no particular order.
Look at the materials required.
After a quick rummage, you spot the blackroot, nestled between the grated dragon's tongue and Drudene oil. You gather up the blackroot, obsidian lance, and ancient bowl, and kick the door of the cupboard closed.
Alright, so following the ritual in the book, we need to combine the blackroot with a bowl. And then we need to combine the ritual bowl with the lancet. No, I need to cut myself with a lancet. There we go. Now I have a bloody obsidian lancet because I cut myself with it. And now we can combine both of these. Gives us the ritual bowl. You can use a fire spell to do this, but if you put it here...
As you suck the smoke deep into your lungs, your vision starts to swim and cloud. There is an intense pounding in your head, and you can feel the world fading.
Hold the fumes in your lungs and ignore the thumping in your head.
As the world fades away, you lose all sense of being grounded. You reach out, but you could feel yourself falling slowly, sinking into the depths of your own soul.
This is the deepest recess of my soul. But it looks like the Hall of Echoes.
Indeed, it does. The Red Prince, huh?
Bathed in the half-light of these starless barrens, you spot a figure you could only describe as a second self. It looks haggard and weak, its very voice but a feeble echo of your own.
Red Prince, come. Come closer, so that you may see me as I truly am.
Ask who you're speaking to.
You will see when you look me in the eyes.
The apparition clasps your face in its shaking hands. You suddenly feel your eyes tingle. Everything becomes brighter, sharper. Blacks and whites become glorious bursts of color, then fade back into their accustomed spectrum.
Blind eyes, shine brightly. Speak the spell, and see.
So we know I have spirit vision. Which is an innate skill, which is nice. Unfortunately, it does cost source.
Throw off the strange mirror image of yourself. Before you stands the goddess Zolstissa in all her spectral glory.
You know me now, don't you? I saved you from drowning,
I blessed you, made you powerful. And now I've come to seek some power in return. Your god-woken soul is my last refuge, my last bastion. May as well make the best of what you have to offer.
Zor's stither nourishes herself from the source that abounds in your presence. You feel it deep down inside yourself.
Ah, yes. Just what I needed. I tell you, dying just doesn't become a god.
Tell him not to be so dramatic. Gods are immortal, after all.
Immortality is only permanent, my dearest prince. Until one day, it simply ceases to be.
I.e., it's not permanent.
The void itself is hunting down the gods, leeching us in ways we never thought possible. Droplet by droplet, we are being drained. We are battling for our very survival. It's a battle we're losing, and should we truly lose, all will be cast into oblivion.
Surmise that by hiding herself in your soul, she's turned you into a target for every void woken in the world.
Well, sort of. But by all means, let that be a motivator, not a cause for concern. You must realize, Red Prince, that our fates are now as one, just as our souls are now as one. We are I. Together we are a force to be reckoned with. But if we seek to survive the onslaught of the Void, we stand no chance unless we become vastly more powerful than we are now. That means there is but one place we can go. The Well of Ascension.
The Well of Ascension? I once read a fable. I once read about this fabled birthplace of the gods.
It most certainly will be. The Well of Ascension is a lake, a pool of pure source, in which the powers of the Seven lie united. We gave them up freely to create the first divine. Each of us donated half of that which makes us gods. To bathe in the lake is to become our chosen. That is where the road to divinity leads, and you must be the first to reach it at all costs.
Wait, hold on. The gods once gave away half their power. Just like that.
It was a time of selflessness and sacrifice in the face of our old enemy. It was an act of heroism, and a dreadful mistake to boot, which we must rectify. The Void is stronger than ever. A new divine won't be enough. You need to go to the Well of Ascension. Not to bathe in the source of the Seven, but to take it. All of it. Only he who claims everything will be everything. The Void's doom, this world's liberator.
Contemplate her words and say you very much like the sound of them.
I hope you understand them to their full extent. The other gods must either bow to you, or be undone. But of course, that is what they are saying to their own god woken as we speak. We both know they won't bow, just like we both know you will never bow to them. Only one can become a god strong enough to safeguard our world. One at the expense of all others. So make no mistake, Red Prince. Chances are the road to divinity will be paved with dead gods. Their blood on your blood-red hands. But don't let that dismay you. For these sins will be washed clean by the knowledge you committed them to save all of existence. To save your kin, and your loved ones, and your empire.
I'm quite convinced. Where is this Well of Ascension?
I promise that yours alone will be the powers of the lake. And to the lake I will lead you. But not yet. Not until you've become a true master of the Source. Until you speak the language of creation itself. Our journey will be fraught with peril. It is a pilgrimage of challenges that will require you to command Source like only a God-woken can, and wield its most powerful spells.
Smile wryly and say that pilgrimage sounds rather ironic given your mission.
Laughter rolls and echoes into infinity.
Perhaps. But what is a pilgrimage after all, if not a journey of atonement in search of enlightenment? Focus not on death and irony, my prince. On life and ascension instead. We are I now. The spells you need to know I will teach you when you are ready. But first you must learn to channel the source in greater volumes. That is why you need to seek masters of the source. You must make them teach you, so that you may become a master in turn. So, return to Rivellon, and seek out these sages where they dwell. Convince them to share with you their deep-seated bond with the source. Once you have, you may return to me here.
So you'd have thought she's a master of source herself.
And so much more. But I'm no longer who I once was, bound to you as I've become. I will teach you what I can, but the knowledge that will expand the bounds of your soul, that you'll have to hunt for yourself.
What exactly did you do to my eyes?
Something that'll make you understand that for a god, there is precious little difference between the living and the dead. Source is. It is a constant, a subject of neither time nor transience. All of life is source, and in source it is. Immortally so. You have the vision of a god now. Eyes that can see spirits, the souls of the dead, made manifest in source. Speak the spell during your peregrinations, and you will see them. Where the dead lie, the dead linger. Best of luck, Red Prince.
So, we can now see dead people.
The MEISTR stares intently at you. Her eyes are
One right
tired
here.
and bruised, but determined.
Still alive? Gods above, there might be something to you after all.
She leans in, her bloody tongue flickering hungrily about your face.
Tell me, what did you see? What you know?
Ignore the burning in your lungs and explain what happened. Your god hiding within you, your new power, and your master of
She
source.
sighs impatiently as you hack up the last of the green smoke.
You can't channel enough source? Gods be damned, why couldn't you have a nice simple problem? Finding an orc to dance the hornpipe, perhaps?
Brush off her concerns, you can do anything.
You may well have that potential, but at the same time... how to put this? I don't trust you to tie your bootlaces without accidentally hanging yourself, let alone controlling the powers of creation. So we must seek alternatives. Alas, the only source masters not yet hauled off to Fort Joy or turn into meat puppets are those too dangerous or cunning for the Magisters to contain. Sorcerers that allowed their power to corrupt them. Many are wicked, cruel, vile, and generally not good teacher material, but we may have no others to turn to.
Rub your hands together. Now this sounds like fun.
These are the kinds of creatures that grew bored pulling the legs from spiders and so moved on to people. Fun is not the word I would choose. However, it is the path we walk, no matter what the cost. No matter what is asked of you.
The MEISTR doubles over in a violent coughing fit, struggling for breath. After a few moments, she regains her composure, wiping a thin smear of blood from the corner of her mouth.
No matter what is asked of you, you must learn from them.
I only wonder how difficult it could be to find an evil sorcerer.
The Magisters have kept ledgers with all known sorcerers, especially the powerful ones not yet captured. They would be an invaluable resource, but do be careful not to get caught. I was their guest for a time, and I promise you the gallows was the most comfortable part of the experience. And if their barracks turns out to be as empty as their skulls, just try to keep an ear to the ground. There may still be powerful sorcerers hiding in these lands.
As she speaks, one of her wounds reopens, a dark red stain spreading across her tunic. She hisses in frustration and starts to bind the gash.
I wish there was more I could do, but in this condition, I would be more a hindrance than a boon. Godspeed, and remember, do whatever it takes.
Thank her for generously passing this death-defying mission on to you and leave. There is a dead elf here, but I want to talk to this guy first.
What are you looking at? Egad, stop gawking at the shield. You ought to be quite used to such journeys into that stone realm by now. Meanwhile, the acorn draws nearer.
It is very interesting that Selora comes with us into our own memories, and into our own
some tomes I saw that cranky old
soul.
lizard carry. Some fascinating leads, but nothing like the power we need to stop the Knights of Dre and their wicked plot.
A warrior and a scholar. I'm quite impressed by how many skills you have.
Our gargantuan friend is easily impressed. Wait until it learns that I'm a knight, a scholar, and a wizard capable of saving the world. No, of course it knows that already, Quercus. Yes, I'm aware it's the entire basis of our partnership. No, I most certainly do not feel the need to return the compliment. I owe our shield my life several times over. I hardly need to grovel and thank it each time. I'm sure it knows I appreciate it. Now, if you're quite finished ogling your favorite long-legged scratching post, we need to get on and save the world already.
Indeed. Also, there's a dead woman here.
The spirit of an elegant elven woman materializes before you. She seems surprised.
You can see me. A god woken in my presence. You honor me.
Who are you, exactly?
I am the MEISTR's apprentice. I study under her, but I do not learn. I hear tales of the ritual, of what lies beyond. Such wonders, such powers. I decide to pursue them myself. MEISTR tells me it cannot happen, that I am not god-woken. But in my heart, I know I'm special. I try. I burn the root. I breathe the smoke and it burns me back. No air fills my lungs, only fire. When the darkness falls, I cannot cry out. I leave my life behind with a shameful whimper.
Ask why she risked such a thing if she was aware of the dangers.
The spirit looks at you regretfully.
It is hard to hear of such power and not covet it for yourself. I lie to myself and convince myself that I am special. But I am not special. I am dead.
So, she tried to take divinity for herself and died because of it. In any case, ooh, chest. With a source orb. I'll take that. Interesting, I never knew that was there. There's a free source orb there if you need it. In any case, that's going to be it for today. I miss I'll take some source while I'm here. Because I'll forget to later, if I do not.
I've got to say, I think we're onto something interesting here.
Nothing particularly useful to know from her yet. In any case, that's going to be it for this episode. If you liked the video, please leave a like. If you're not subscribed already, please consider subscribing. As always, thanks for watching, and I shall see you next time. Bye, guys.